Well, we'll all remember where we were when they tried to kill the president the second time. Here's an idea. What do you say we just go to the ballot box? What do you say? We're 50 days away. Can we take the next 7 weeks and not try to assassinate somebody in this country? You want to talk about a banana republic? Gang, we're here. I will tell you, I'm not doing the show today that I had planned because I was meeting with the president on Saturday, and he said something offhanded to me, and I was going in a direction of research on something, and he said, Glenn, I think there is something that is bigger than the economy right now. And he said the economy, we're killing them on the economy. He said they have no place to go on the economy. They have no record on the economy. He said, but what's happening now in our cities and what's happening in Ohio and elsewhere in Denver, he said, I think this is actually a bigger thing than the economy. And he is absolutely right. If you know some of the things that we've been doing research on, Chris Rufo has already done his research on this. This is something that they've known about. Well, I'll get into it, not today. We'll probably get into it maybe a little bit more tomorrow. But today, I've got to talk to you about a would-be assassin. Now, this one seems to be miraculous. You know, God saved, I believe, it was a miracle that Donald Trump turned his head and that bullet missed him and only nicked his ear instead of going right into the center of his head, and all of us having clear, high-definition evidence of the president's head exploding live. So I think God saved him from the last one. God may have saved him from this one as well. But this one was a miracle in the darkest of ways as well. First, let me tell you what happened. Early reports said that police recovered an AK-47 from the bushes outside of the golf course where the president was golfing, as well as a GoPro recording device. Now, why would you have a GoPro recording device? Why would you have it attached to the fence pointing out at the putting green? Why would you have that? Unless you were planning on recording it so your deeds would live forever. Now, my question is there anything else already recorded on the GoPro? Is there maybe a statement? Because why would you record your deeds without recording a message for all to hear? So I'd like to know what was on the GoPro, if anything. But this guy obviously had an agenda. Now according to the press, he was all wound up because of Trump's rhetoric. Was he now? We'll get to that in a second. So they caught him after he was in the bushes and a Secret Service agent was eagle-eyed enough to spot a barrel of a gun coming out from the bushes. This guy had taken 2 backpacks and tied them to the fence. And they were on each side of where he would have been sitting, and the barrel of the gun would have been right between them. Now, it's really curious. I mean, I know the media, they're so smart. They know what everything means. They reported that he had ceramic tiles in his backpack. And I immediately thought he was a roofer, not somebody that was going to lay tile in bathrooms. No. Could they explain what ceramic tiles mean? I know because I've had to wear them from time to time. A ceramic tile is what you put inside of the bulletproof vest if you are expecting a chest shot. A bulletproof vest will not stop a high-powered rifle. However, ceramic tile will. So he put ceramic tile in his backpacks, right where he would have been crouched with the gun. So he was expecting a shootout. Okay. How did this Secret Service agent see it? I don't know. But I want to believe and take it at face value that he was doing his job. The reason why I say this time I believe it, at least this time I want to believe that that agent was doing his job, is because I was with the president on Saturday. And I said on X, and I don't know where else I said it on Saturday, this is the very first time I have seen the Secret Service in 15 years actually do their job. I have sat behind Mitt Romney, past the Secret Service, with the guy next to me, and a gun in his back. They missed it. I have come through security doors that were supposed to be secure and went past all of the Secret Service passage, all of their security, went behind them, around them, and walked right directly to the president. Now, if I can do that, who can't? And I've been railing about this for 15 years. For Saturday was the first time I thought Secret Service was taking it seriously. There was no way you were getting into the event that I was in unless you were an invited guest or you were supposed to be there. And there was no way you were getting close to the president. So what happened? Well, I want to believe that the Secret Service was doing their job. They were one or two holes ahead of the president, and he was scoping it out, and he looks and he sees the barrel of a gun coming through the bushes. There's then a shootout. Apparently, they were not shooting. They were shooting at each other. They were not shooting at the president. I don't know because things are still unclear. The reason why we caught him is because somebody saw him run out of the bushes and then get into his car. Somebody with the wherewithal to write down the plate number and be able to remember what the car was. They called police immediately, said, here's the plate number, here's what the car looks like. And because we have new AI all over the freeways, all over all of our roads, it could read license plate numbers, identify the car, and they found him almost immediately, stopped him on the highway, they arrested him. So now what? Well, who is he? Well, the first person, as soon as the name was released, The Guardian was the first place to actually find his son. His son was, I believe, in Florida. And they called him. His name is Oran Routh. They called him. He picked up the phone. He hadn't heard the news. And he was asked for a comment. And he said, this is the first I've heard about it. Was my father shot or injured? He then said his father hates Donald Trump as, quote, every reasonable person does. Okay. All right. He said, I don't like Trump either. Now, this is his immediate response after hearing that his father tried to kill the president. He then says, well, he hates him just like every reasonable person, and I hate him too. Oh, okay. But he said his dad was not a violent person and couldn't believe his father would target the president. He's my dad, and all that he's had is a couple of traffic tickets, as far as I know. That's crazy. I know my dad. I love my dad, and that's nothing like him. Is it? Is it really nothing like him? You know your dad. Okay. Now, he said, I've got to go because I have to get more information, but I don't know anymore because we had a falling out. We've grown apart. Okay, but he's not a violent person. He's a hard worker. He's a great dad. He's a great dude. He's a nice guy who worked his whole effing life. I've never known him to even own a gun or known him to do anything like this. Okay, well, I don't think you know your dad. I don't think you know your dad. Because your dad, the evidence seems to point that it was the same guy with the same name in the same state that barricaded himself into his office with a gun. And that gun, well, the FBI said it was a weapon of mass destruction. It was a fully automatic machine gun. So he went to prison, went to jail. He was convicted of having a weapon of mass destruction. Now, wow, that seems like that should have been a long sentence, but it wasn't. It wasn't. And if you're caught with an automatic weapon and you don't have a stamp for it, a tag for it, well, then you'll go to prison, usually 20 years. I don't know why he didn't go to jail for 20 years, but he didn't. And then he got out. Now, remember, his dad is just a very peaceful person. Then he got out and started to recruit people to go to Ukraine, to fight in Ukraine. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. By the way, after the son did verify that, yep, that is his dad, he made a public statement. He said, I hate this game every 4 years, and I think we all do. And if my father wants to be a martyr to how broken and disassociated the process has become from the real problems and practical solutions, then that's his choice. So, gee, that sounds like you're excusing your dad's actions. I'm not saying that what he's done or what he's about, that's just my own rant about being fed up with all of it for my entire adult life. South Park said it best. Every 4 years, we're forced to choose between a turd sandwich and a giant douche. And it all stays effed in the same ways by different degrees, and we're exhausted and embarrassed by it all. So the ends justify the means is what I'm hearing here. Well, thank you for stopping by, Saul Alinsky. But let me get back to the story of who this guy is, because I have Eric Prince coming up in about half an hour. He's the guy who said to Ron DeSantis, you should take this investigation in-house because I don't think you should just trust the FBI on it. And thank you, Eric. Neither do I.